Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things under through a common sense lens. And you know, it's one of those things, Disney has done a really poor job of hiring some of its employees and keeping their mouths shut and not letting them go out there and talk, well, literally out of their butt. And it's one of them situations where obviously we've seen what happened with Rachel Ziegler and the absolute abomination that will be the Snow White box office by It's All Done and all of the dumb things that she had. Well, I'd imagine one of those other things that Bob Iger is going to end up regretting hiring is none other than Jimmy Kimmel, because boys and girls, if you hadn't heard in the news, there's some crazy stuff going on out there with some nasty little acts going on against a bunch of Tesla owners out there, their vehicles, all because Elon Musk said some things and is doing some things that a bunch of crazy activists, people possessed by the spirit of the age, cult members absolutely simply disagree with. And now you've got one of the talking heads over there at ABC, a Disney-owned corporation, a Disney-owned company out there, literally condoning and saying that kind of stuff is totally okay and is well-deserved. Oh, color us shocked there. The insanity bleeds through, and this is exactly why late night television is in the gutter, and Greg Gutfeld is the dominant person in late night television talk shows, and it is not even close. And this is another prime example of why. So we're going to get to this article from Fandom Pulse by our dear sweet John F. Trent, give you all of the juicy details, because Disney employees justifies domestic very bad actions against Tesla. And so we're going to check out this article, getting all the juicy details of exactly what our dear sweet Disney employee Jimmy said. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we just crossed 1,600. We're inching our way closer and closer to 17, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Do you even know who Jimmy Kimmel is? Have you ever watched any of his late night television shows? Do you think he's funny? Do you enjoy his stuff? Do you think this was a step too far in the sake of comedy out there? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please check out our links in the description down below as well. All right, from fandompulse.substack and our dear sweet John F. Trent. Disney employee and the host of the Jimmy Kimmel Live, Jimmy Kimmel, recently justified very bad actions against Tesla. During a recent episode of, sorry about that, YouTube really hates that word. Like, it's really, really bad. It will drive our stuff right down to the bottom of the algorithm. They detect that wonderful little T word in there. So sorry, boys and girls, we got to do a little bit of that. Sadly, we are just a slave to the algorithm. But you can help us push back against the argument by leaving comments and likes on all of our videos. That'll help our stuff get pushed out so we don't have to worry about all this kind of nonsense. So check it out. During a recent episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live, Kimmel stated, "Someone lit a bunch of Teslas on fire, and here's the thing. I get that people are upset. Burning a car might not be great for the environment. I don't think that's what they had in mind when they invented the electric car." So funny. In Las Vegas yesterday, someone, you know what we should do? We should give him the proper woke voice, right? Let's give him the proper woke voice. In Las Vegas yesterday, someone threw a Molotov cocktail at a Tesla service center. At least 5 Teslas blew up. 1 from the Molotov, and 4 because that's just what Teslas do sometimes. Isn't he funny? Obviously referring to some of the battery fires that a few Teslas have had over the years, all of that kind of stuff. That's what you mess with. That's what you get when you're messing with lithium-ion batteries. Remember all the phones that were doing that exact same thing not too long ago as well? Yeah, same technology. Next, he declared, "And no one should be setting fires. You could kill somebody. You could hurt somebody. Elon Musk might not care about other people, but he does. But decent Americans should." Oh, yeah. The guy literally trying to slash the government budget so we don't all fall into a complete and total bankruptcy and turn into a banana republic. Yeah, that guy doesn't care about decent Americans in any way, shape, or form. The world's richest man, again, has been trying to drum up sympathy for himself lately. His sales are down. His stock is down. Last night, he was somber as he went through this with Sean Hannity. Kimmel then showed a full clip of Musk stating, "Tesla is a peaceful company. We've never done anything harmful. I've never done anything harmful. I've only done productive things. So I think we just have a lot of deranged people. That's some kind of mental illness thing going on here because it doesn't make any sense." From there, Kimmel justified the absolutely nasty attacks. "Well, let me see if I can explain it for you. When you pull out a chainsaw to celebrate firing thousands of people, they get mad. This poor guy. You do 1, maybe 2 salutes, and everybody gets all bent out of shape." That's right, because Elon Musk is a Yahtzee. Just like they always want to paint everybody. I mean, a word that literally doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, people go, "You're a fascist." Okay. "You're an ist. You're a phobe." Okay. These words don't have any meaning anymore because nobody believes your nonsense. And based on your ratings number, Jimmy Kimmel, nobody's listening anymore either. All you get is the clapping seals in your live studio audience. The attacks on Tesla vehicles and Tesla dealerships was described by Attorney General Pam Bondi as domestic very bad things. In a statement on March 18th, she said, "The swarm of violent attacks on Tesla property is nothing short of very bad things domestically. The Department of Justice has already charged several perpetrators with that in mind, including cases that involve charges with 5-year mandatory minimum sentences." They ain't playing. They gonna throw the book at you. "We will continue investigations that impose severe consequences on those involved in these attacks, including those operating behind the scenes to coordinate and fund these crimes." You know, it's weird how a lot of those protests that showed up during a lot of the 2020s and in 2016 and everything else, ever since they shut down USAID, it's weird how a lot of those protests are happening. Somehow Washington, D.C. didn't get lit on fire this year around when Trump got elected. Weird. She also told Fox News that numerous perpetrators are being brought to justice for these attacks. These attacks are taking place throughout our country. We have charged multiple people. Get ready, more coming. One charge in Oregon is facing 5 to 20 years in prison. We filed in Colorado. We filed in South Carolina. There are more coming. And yes, the funding is one thing. We are looking at many others. I was personally in a meeting this morning. We are coming after you. We believe these are organized. Color us shocked there. Pretty much all of the rest of these kind of protests have been. It's almost like it's weird during the summer of love, like giant stacks of bricks just mysteriously appeared on corners in Dallas. I'm sure there was no organization or any kind of funding behind that. Are you serious? Have you looked at the price of bricks? People don't just leave those lying around on places, especially in street corners in Dallas where there's no construction anywhere near them. Weird. I know. These are not individuals out throughout the country doing this on their own. They are targeting Tesla owners. They are targeting Tesla dealerships. They're targeting Elon Musk, who is out there trying to save our country, and it will not be tolerated. President Donald Trump posted to Truth social media on the 20th. "People that get caught sabotaging Teslas will stand a very good chance of going to jail for up to 20 years, and that includes the funders. We are looking for you." Yep, and what do you want to bet there's going to be a silly little spooky dude behind a whole lot of this stuff, boys and girls? Just like he bought all of those wonderful little prosecutors out there? Yeah, same difference. Trump says once again, "I look forward to watching the sick thugs get 20-year jail sentences for what they're doing to Elon Musk and Tesla. Perhaps they could serve them in prisons of El Salvador, which have become so recently famous for such lovely conditions." Oh, yes, indeed, boys and girls. So needless to say, color us shocked there. Another Disney employee is letting his own politics get ahead of, not only comedy, which I think we're pretty sure can all agree that Jimmy Kimmel hasn't been funny since The Man Show. But also on top of that, with all the hot water that Disney has found itself in over the last few years, this is the last thing they need, especially when all of these kind of crazy attacks out there are going on, which no sane person in the world would try to justify in any way, shape, or form, or try to make light of, or try to make a joke of. I mean, comedians are going to make jokes about whatever they want to, but literally you've got Jimmy Kimmel out there continuing to stem the fires of going, well, he's a Yahtzee and he's a phobe and he deserves what he's getting because you fired all of these government employees that weren't actually doing anything and were just nothing more than a sponge on the American people out there, nothing more than a parasite, a leech on the American people. They're going to be angry and you deserve what you get. You're getting exactly what you deserve. No, you don't, because you're literally going after a bunch of innocent people out there who bought vehicles with their own money because they liked the idea of helping the environment by buying an electric car. It's a weird concept how just because one person out there disagrees with some of their talking points, and although is lining up trying to actually do the things they want by protecting the environment and giving them electric cars that work and are successful and actually profitable, just because you disagree with their politics, as soon as that happens, all of their morality, all of their nonsense, all of their quote unquote values that they had go right out the window, and they will absolutely commit violent and dangerous acts out there to justify their own stuff. This is exactly what we talk about when we talk about it. Say it was like the fiery but mostly peaceful protest that we had. Yeah, these people are insane. They are cultists. They are possessed by the spirit of the age, and Jimmy Kimmel is absolutely fanning the fires. Disney, you need to do something about your yapping dog out there. You need to put a muzzle on him, because this is going to get you into more hot water and more trouble. How many lawsuits do you need from the other side, Disney, before you finally figure out that all of your activist employees need to be fired and need to keep their mouths shut away from any of this kind of stuff? Jimmy Kimmel is just the latest in a very long line of Disney employees that have put their agenda and their political talking points over good storytelling, and in this case, good comedy. Color us shocked there that Jimmy Kimmel's ratings are absolutely in the toilet. And guess what, Disney? Any kind of backlash you get for this idiot opening his mouth and saying dumb things, well, you've done it to yourself, and you'll get exactly what you deserve.